Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. This is an alternative, or just a way, to overwinter your peppers. I'm in Maryland Zone 7. You can see, looking back there, the frost has rolled into our area. We get freezing winters. January, February, temperatures can stay in the 20s, sometimes reach the teens. This is where I grew my super hot peppers. Grew them in containers, sunken into the ground. Half the bottom's cut out. If you check out the video in the video description, growing peppers in sunken containers, you'll get the idea of how I do it. I've already taken out 3 pots, dropped them into a cold frame that has the bottom dug out to a depth of about 12 inches. That's going to overwinter my peppers at least until January. The process is pretty simple. This is a habanero. You can see it's all been killed off. And you just want to go ahead and cut these down to about 8 inches. You're cutting most of the growth off from the top. You really just want to protect the root systems from freezing through, keep this alive, but you don't want it growing. It's going to go dormant. So let me finish this out, and then all I do, or finish this up, all I do is rock the container out, lift it up, and this drops into that sunken cold frame. Just wanted to cut in real quick. This is my sunken cold frame, and this is where I'm going to be overwintering my super hot peppers. You can overwinter other plants in here. I'll be explaining how this works throughout the video, but just wanted to show you what it looks like. They drop into the cold frame. The earth is dug down 12 inches, stays a lot warmer. Keep it closed when the cold comes, and these peppers will overwinter. I'm overwintering the super hots because they grow really slowly. My other peppers, I don't overwinter anymore because my transplants do really well. But the super hots grow much more slowly. Cut down the pepper plant so it looks something like that. You really want to do this before the frost rolls in. You don't want this to get damaged, but you're just reducing the growth and you're protecting the roots, and this just will lift right out. Removed from the hole, you can see the depth that it sits in there. The bottom is cut out, and this is going to go right into that cold frame. This is what a sunken cold frame looks like. Goes down into the earth. I recommend at least 12 inches, 18 inches if you can. If you go down too deep, it's really hard to get in there. But the earth, digging down 12 inches, that kind of stays at a pretty consistent temperature. And the warmth from the earth comes up, warms the space, protects the roots. I've taken tomato transplants out in February and March and put them in here, and peppers, to grow when the temperatures outside are still in the 30s and 40s and we get freezing nights. This really keeps everything really nice and warm. Come January, February, it's possible the temperatures get too cold in here. At that point, I can move them into my garage for a month or so, protect them that way, or I'm going to cover this with plastic and just seal this up a little bit more. When you put your peppers into here, lightly water them in. You don't have to keep watering them. You want them to go dormant, but you want the roots to stay moist. So the pepper plant right here is going to get fit into that space, and they should overwinter very nicely. The green growth of the stems should stay intact, maybe a little bit of die off, but the roots are going to stay in place. And once the right temperatures come, the roots will support kind of vigorous upper growth, and you're going to get peppers that are going to be larger than a lot of your transplants, especially for the super hots. One trick you can do, because sometimes, since this is kind of, you know, an odd ecosystem, it's going to stay warm. Insects that are in the soil, eggs that are around, whatever, they could hatch and maybe you get an infestation of something. Put down an inch of play sound across the top of the soil. That seals in anything that's down in there, and they just can't really crawl through that. So that will interrupt life cycles of some insects if you want to do that. This is what a standard cold frame looks like. The bottom is not dug out. I'll do my winter sowing in here. That's just not deep enough. Putting your peppers in something like that, the cold air is still going to get in there depending on how many days of freeze you have, how much sunlight is out. It's still possible for stuff to get frost and freeze in there. In this version, it really is effective. This may not be something you can do now because you have to build everything, but it's just an option. These sunken cold frames work really well for overwintering plants, and they work really well for getting maybe transplants you're growing indoors out earlier and get them to size. You can really grow. There's my container collection right there. I'll grow peppers and tomatoes and those from transplants, get them to a really nice size in here, and I'm putting out, 2-foot plants into my garden come later April. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com and consider building a sunken cold frame. It really keeps the heat in the lower portion of the cold frame, and you can do a whole lot more than you think with a design just like this. Thanks for watching.